Welcome. How's it
Okay.
going?
Very excited to be here.
Bringing that
Chat.
energy right at the gate. Hey, DSC, how you doing? You're alive.
Yes, I know. I had to make the announcement to everyone because everyone thought I got sent to the Shadow Realm or something because I went incognito for a while.
Hey,
Yeah, 3
just
months.
unplugged for a bit.
Yeah. I just literally. This is how I said earlier that I go on tangents at will. Sometimes.
Oh no, we've never heard of you doing that before. Not ever. Not
See,
once.
just like right now, just out of nowhere. See, it's just this is well, you've acquired mastery when you do it without even thinking it. You don't even know where you're doing it. It just happens right away.
It's not a bug. It's a feature.
Exactly.
Okay.
See, you're on the right target here.
I got you.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
So, hey, welcome for the first installment of this monthly shit show. Let's go. It's we're doing deep sixed flicks. It doesn't have to be pulled from the public domain, but this time around we did, and we watched Metropolis for the first time. All three of us. I didn't realize all three of us had not seen it before, but yeah, it's 1927.
Yeah, I will. I have no excuse to not have seen this movie because I was both a film and German culture major. So it's like they should be tattooed on the back of my eyeballs, and I've sort of like you absorb it over the years, but I never sat down and went right through it. And I am very excited to talk about it here on our inaugural episode of Deep Six Flicks.
And Dragon.
Yeah.
Hello once again.
Hi.
Your first time around. You backstage confessed that you didn't know it wasn't going to have audio. Well, it has audio, but just a score, but no talkie.
Yeah, no, I had no idea. Jess threw me a no talkie movie, so I had to literally rewire my brain to remember that films in the past did not have voice audio at one point, and I had to actually read what the screen subtitles.
See, using those brain muscles that you heard, those brain cells that you lost when you were covering Rings of Power.
I know, fuck you. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. That's my automatic response every time somebody says Rings of Power. Is that it doesn't matter if you're great or bad to be just automatic F you. Sorry, that's just instinct.
Oh, it's fine.
My therapist said it's good for dealing with trauma.
I was gonna say it's your trauma.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah,
we've got people here.
Yes. Let's monetize my trauma, people. Let's just do it.
Your trauma
good therapy,
whether we monetize it or not. So
there you go.
We've got Sonia, sexy Sonia. You're everywhere.
What? Yeah, I know. I don't know how. I'm everywhere.
Yay.
Oh, 1,000 Men is here. Awesome. Okay.
1,000 Men is here. It's also sitting to my right. But, we've got John H.
We should say up front that if you have not figured out that this is a movie commentary show, it is. So we are going to spoil the shit out of the movie. This is from 1927, so you've had a lot of time to see it. So this one's on you. But going forward,
to be fair, once again, you and I and he have not seen this until like literally today.
Yeah. No, I'm not proud of that fact. We just have to move past it. As a unit.
What kind of cinephile are you? German studies major.
Dude, like I am exposing my dark underbelly for episode 1 of Deep Sixed Flicks here, but it is interesting that we called it Deep Six Flicks and just decided to choose for our inaugural episode one of the greatest movies ever made. Just technically. So a little bit of a misnomer there, but I think we were all too happy with the title to change it. I don't know the format you want to do. So do you want to just jump right into it, or should we?
Yeah, jump right into it. Like, all right. What are your thoughts? Like,
ooh, okay.
Do we give a little synopsis on what the
overarching feels natural, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
okay. So a couple factoids before we jump into the film. So it was a husband and wife team that wrote it, and it was written in tandem with the book that had to do more with spirituality, and there are notes of that within the film.
That makes sense.
But she wrote the book as a marketing product.
Oh, for the movie.
So the book came out in 1925. It was published in 1925. The film was released in 1927, and it took at least 17 months to film, much less finish the production and, finishing edits and whatever. So it was in the works for a couple of years in tandem with the screenwriting, like writing the screenplay and the book. So interesting.
So is the whole thing like marketing, like to just promote their weird spirituality ideology, or is that where it came
No,
from?
if it was to promote their spiritual ideology, but it did have notes of spirituality that were more heavy-handed in the book than what they put in the film. So in the film, you'll see like some pentagrams behind the machine man. You'll see little notes of it here and there, or the dream sequence, or like kind of his like vision of like Moloch appearing in the factory. We can get more into that.
That was wild. They got metal out of nowhere.
It was.
Let's just say nothing of the boneyard of crosses in front of which both Marias speak. But back to your point of synopsis. Somebody jump in if I F it up. So basically, I didn't know BioShock was based off of this movie, or maybe it's the other way around. But no, if you play the BioShock video game, it's an underwater city that floods. It's like the same thing, but
I haven't
not the same thing because that's a video game. What's that?
I have not played BioShock.
Well, it is a classic in its own right, but it certainly doesn't go all the way back to the 20s. So it's ostensibly the future. We don't really get a time setting of the movie, or do we? Correct me if I'm wrong, but
they do not specify.
No,
they keep it pretty ambiguous.
It's like a steampunk dystopia,
future. Right? And not just because I look like the lead singer of Front 242 right now, but that's okay. There's a reason for that. So in this Metropolis called Metropolis, I was hearkening back to like Battle Angel, Lolita, or Elysium, or any of these sort of like striated societies, and there's the people that like the good Hunger Games kind of like class of people that live up in the
privileged,
top.
The privileged and the underprivileged, I guess that's a good way of putting it.
Literally
underprivileged because they live in the depths, the workers' city, and our ostensible protagonist Freda, the son of Jo Fredason, is like basically fopping around in Foppington, of where the fops live. In
Foppington,
top level. That's unofficial, but like that's
the Foppington floor,
aka a frat, very very big frat house. Okay, that's all I can think of.
Well, yeah, but they have less fitted backward caps and more amazing coiffs. Like the haircuts in this movie were incredible. Like they should have gotten their own billing. But at one point, one of this sort of rabble rouser from the Undercity breaks into this Eden garden in which our protagonist lives, and he is smitten with her on sight. So he I'll leave it a bit open-ended, but engages on this path to what the translation we watched called The Mediator. I'm not sure what that is in German. I should have done my homework a little bit better. I forgot, like, reason number 3 why I suck for not having seen this movie until now. My favorite band is Kraftwerk, who's got at least 2 songs about this movie. So, like, I
didn't realize.
Yeah, Metropolis and Die Menschmaschine, what they call, the man machine auf Deutsch in German. But I mean, I'm guessing, like, the movie precedes Kraftwerk by quite a bit, so it's not like they stole it the other way around. But so the real protagonist is Maria, the rabble rouser, and we have this amazing. I thought he looked like the lead singer of the Melvins, this cyborg man with a metal hand, Dr. Rotwang, or Rotwang if you're
Rotwang.
Yeah,
yeah,
Rotwang.
right. Like it sounds
Rotwang.
badass in German, and in English it sounds like a sexually transmitted disease. But
It does sound like it.
he built one of the most iconic, even if
Mhm.
you've never seen Metropolis,
Yeah.
you'll be like, I know what that is, because it's the most
Mhm.
iconic robot.
Oh, the robot
ostensibly.
design. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, by the
In-
way, a quick fact about that. I
Please.
think there was I think in Alien there was like an inspiration when they were doing like the concept art for the xenomorph. That was like one of the designs that they saw with the
I can see
the man machine. Like they just used it as a concept
With these
because
sort of,
some
like,
of these they used it as a
waving
concept.
lines.
Yeah, and then they made it a little bit darker and took inspirations from other older art styles. But you can always see, like, I can see why that man machine design is always the one that's like that blueprint that every big sci-fi universe has always used to create like any type of machine. It's just
3PO. I mean,
exactly
it's kind of like
3PO.
not
It
even
is.
far off. It's
Yeah.
like super
almost
duper
exact, literally.
So
Even
much.
Right, it's the robot on like all the posters
Mhm.
of the movie and stuff like that. So in what kind of blew my mind,
Yeah.
we think we came up with all this shit like 10 minutes ago, and they're
Mhm.
doing like body snatcher stuff in the 20s. I'm like, this is
Yep.
amazing. In an effort to undermine the potential worker uprising, Jo Fredesen, he looks like the lead singer of Covenant, has his scientist
No.
Esco Simonson has his scientist, the lead singer of the Melvins, make the robot look like the paramour of this kind of Jesus figure, because she's talking
Yeah.
about like this mediator that needs to talk, that's going to come, like this prophesied guy that's going to like talk to the head and the hands, is what they call it in the movie.
Mhm.
Why did somebody else
because
take
there's
it?
because there's this division with literal upper class and the lower class workers, this never ending stream of workers, right? So there's an incident in the gears or the machine area, right, where they're literally keeping the city functioning. And when you see the cityscapes, it's very fantastical. I mean, you've got ramps on skyscrapers and airplanes flying around and like all kinds of stuff. The trains, like the Art Deco style is probably my favorite. So what's great about it too, because it's so futuristic looking, and that was the intention, right? It's supposed to be, we're advanced, all that stuff, but it's so classic, it's timeless. Like even with, come on, Elon Musk's bus, did you see that thing?
Oh
It
yeah,
looks like
I
the
was
old
going to say
steamliners.
that. Yeah,
Right.
Steamliners, not steamliners. But yeah, I mean the art style, I'm a fan. But as far as like for anyone who hasn't seen it, spoilers ahead. So we have two societies, like he mentioned, like Brian mentioned about like the Mockingjay, what Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
That one. Yeah.
The
Mockingjay.
Mockingjay movie, and then I knew it.
The Mockingjay movie.
You know that thing.
The
with
girl
stuff.
says, I
I get ya.
volunteer as tribute. That movie.
What?
The southern version, I guess. Although I did learn before the episode that me and Dragon are both south of the Mason-Dixon, so he can do that. It's not culture appropriation.
It definitely isn't culture appropriation.
Well,
I'm Cuban, by the way, but like I lived in southern Mississippi for 10 years.
I'll let it slide this one time.
Exactly. What? Nah, I earned my card. Damn it.
You much more than me. I'm totally a transplant to the south. But okay, so Rotwang is going to make the robot look like Maria. Go, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
But we're not there yet.
Oh wait.
All right.
Wait. Can I give it? Let me try because I think audience. I'm sorry. Like I don't even know if y'all got a. Let me unscramble the eggs real quick. So yes. So in short, it is the setting is very dark cyberpunk-esque, if you would like to say it, but more like industrial, more like a 1920s industrial dark cyberpunk version. Not like if you've ever played BioShock, like Brian said, that's basically it. It's the same kind of style. And in short, everything is divided between the ruling class of the privileged, which are called the Sons, and then the lower class, which they just call them the workers. Okay, now
Yeah.
it's basically your classical story, but I say classical in the sense that this is the template for every sci-fi film you've ever seen.
Yes, literally.
But to just summarize it, it is the story of the lower class and the higher class not being able to basically understand each other. And so this whole backdrop is set upon in the sense that our main character, I can't remember their fucking names, but it's basically the young man.
Freda.
Okay. Freda. Okay. Freda and Maria, okay, they're basically the main protagonists. Freda is your typical Luke Skywalker character. He's quite ignorant of the world, but he's very curious about it. He's been very sheltered, and as a result, he has no idea about the outside world. Then, all of a sudden, as his father, an assistant of his father, is trying to hold a ceremony in order to have a wife selection for him, he goes around frolicking with some girl, and then before he can seal the deal, Maria barges in with a bunch of kids. Okay? And immediately, okay, yeah, you're going to see in a few seconds, immediately he is mesmerized by her. Okay? Why? Well, if you've ever seen the movie, you can probably tell why the actress that they picked was very perfect for this role, in the sense of like her performance and just her ability to be able to just exude both the aspects of the machine clone of her and the regular human character. Like she's able to emote very well, more than most actresses you see, right?
Parts.
And
One wears eyeliner, the other does not. That's a way to easily tell.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, and speaking of acknowledging people really quickly, because I got so wrapped up in everything. DJ gifted 5 memberships early on, pre-stream legend, and
Dang.
Admirabeel just gifted 5 memberships. So shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. This is a new show. We're trying to find our bearings here. So bear with me while I try to do that.
Y'all again.
But love you guys.
Yeah. But no, yeah. So no, it's very interesting, right? So people always wonder, and Coach has elaborated on this more than I could, but there is a reason why good casting is so essential. Okay, especially in this kind of shot. If you see the shots of Maria in that scene where he's looking at her, right? She does have she does have like a face that, with the makeup on, makes her look not only obviously down to earth, but also otherworldly. Like it's different than all the other shit he's been exposed to. Okay, it's unusual. Also, the actress they picked is a slightly older woman, so it's like you can feel sort of the motherliness spew from her because of the children behind her and the fact that they're clinging to her, right? And when especially when she tells her, "Oh yeah, these are your brothers," blah blah blah, and that gets them curious. But then, of course, it all gets interrupted when they tell her to basically get the fuck out of here. We can't have you, disrupting everything. But he gets curious and goes after her. And after a while, he does encounter his first dose of reality, which is where he sees all these workers. So
he was totally clueless as to how his life was
completely clueless.
Funded, let's say, what was propagating his prestigious lifestyle. There were theaters, there were tracks, there were all kinds of amenities, and he's chasing around these floozies around the fountain, and then he sees her. And so he, like you said, he goes to find out who she is and gets his dose of reality, and he sees the underbelly where the factory workers that are making his life possible.
Yeah. And it's very interesting you say that, because here's the thing, right? People always wonder, like, oh, why does somebody want something else that may seem ordinary to them when they've been born with God knows how many privileges, right? For example, you have this pretty woman that he just abandoned out of nowhere and immediately wants to seek her out. Why? Because it's completely different. It is something that he's never seen before. He's used to being pampered with perfection, and this time he met what we call what they're trying to convey here as sort of a natural form of perfection that isn't fake, that isn't overblown, oversaturated, right? And usually every human being, no matter what, if they see something like that, they will immediately go after it because it's just new, right? And interestingly enough, as soon as he goes after the girl, he sees all the factory workers. He's kind of curious about it. He doesn't care that much. But then, out of nowhere, one of the workers, because he messed up, one portion of the factory literally blows up. And as it's blowing up out of nowhere, this thing just turns into a literal gate to hell. Like, he literally calls it Moloch, if I'm correct.
Moloch.
And, Oh, Moloch? Okay. And
the effigy or thing up at Bohemian Grove.
Yeah. The good old demon, Moloch. Well, they in here they say they ended with a GH, but they mean Moloch. And I gotta say, like once the scene comes up, it was quite amazing. Okay, like I like anybody else, I'm good for some dumbass action.
People flying everywhere.
Yeah, people flying everywhere. Like this production was expensive.
What is happening?
Yeah, but no, for real. This production back in the day was expensive. It was like the equivalent of it would be like the equivalent of $22 million today, but it was like 7.5 million German currency at the time. I'm not sure what they were using, but it was quite expensive, especially in the 20s where money in Germany was worthless. Yeah.
But in this particular scene, and we're not going to go every frame pause kind of like thing with this, but this one was one of those poignant moments, and I'm like, what the heck is happening? Like, oh, but then you get to understand they have this endless supply of workers, and they just, they're gone. They had an accident. They're a sacrifice. Bring in the next batch. Like,
corporate America nutshell today. I'm sorry, somebody had to say it. Like people don't realize it, right? Because this is to us, this is completely normal since we're in it. But back in the day, people were more concerned about, oh my God, when is the next war going to happen? Like, is it going to happen now? Is it going to happen in 20 years? Like, we know tensions are high. People are experiencing poverty everywhere. Well, except in America, because America showed up at the last minute and benefited the most out of it. But either way. The rest of Europe in general, okay? Everybody was struggling. So at the time, nobody was thinking about something like what this movie is portraying to become a reality, because at the time, Europe was devastated, right? And so people were just mostly thinking about survival. So this kind of film was sort of both a little ray of hope that, hopefully the future becomes like that one day. Maybe I won't be there to see it. But at the same time, it would have terrified people back in the day, because not only was the score very good, but also, as you can see, the visuals and acting, okay, and even the subtitling that they used was perfectly well done, okay?
Shockingly enough, it wasn't well received at the time.
Well, really? Of course it wouldn't be. Of course it wouldn't be. Think about it. Like it's like look, it's like back in the day when Fight Club came out and people liked it for the wrong reasons, and then all of a sudden everybody in 2024 is like, Covenant. Oh my God, this is all true, bro. They were prophesizing Demolition Man. They're fucking Moses. We should have listened. Like they were predicting everything that was going to happen in our current day, but nobody bothered to listen because nobody thought it would ever happen in their lifetime, or that such a thing could even be possible. So I'm not surprised that it wasn't well received at the time, because you're basically telling people, oh, this sort of thing, the way they depicted it. The thing is, there's some films that they sometimes do their job so well that they get negatively received. So people don't understand this. So there's two types of negatively performing films. Ones that do their job too well, and as a result, they don't get good profit, and ones that are just shit, okay? And you can easily tell them apart. But this one would be the former and not the latter. And, well, this is why. Because, you're telling people back then, this would have been considered ridiculous. To us nowadays, it's like, well, shit, I'm living in it. But not as bad. Because people are sort of fighting back. But, I I actually want to give Brian the helm on this one, but right before I do that, I want to say something. Could you pause like where the father and son are talking here? Okay. Ah, man, I wish they would have shown a shot of like in frontal shot, but it'll be fine. If y'all didn't realize it, there we go. That's good. The casting for these two was perfect. I'll tell you why. Because this can be the amount of things that this shot tells you, okay, from a filmmaking perspective, is just perfect. Okay. Number one, if you look at both the actor for the father and the son, their faces in terms of facial structure, and because of the makeup they did on them, they're very similar, right? His father looks like a reflection of what the young kids. Oh goodness, what happened? No, come back!
Brian,
Come back, Brian! I'm sorry.
He'll be back.
I went on a tangent. Oh man. But no, the what I like is the fact that the young son and father, like they it's like looking at a reflection of yourself. Okay, he's back. Okay, I wasn't. Okay, so it wasn't the tangents. Thank God.
I don't think Brian scares that easy.
Really, my tangents are legendary, man. But okay.
No.
All right. But yeah, I think there's like this interesting dynamic between the two, because every time you see shots of his father, like whenever he has to do the stuff that, well, fucks everybody over, it's like you see the sadness in his eyes, and then he looks at his son with a face full of concern and glee, and it's like he's looking at himself from back in the day when he was pure and knew nothing.
He genuinely loves his son.
He does. That's the
even
interesting
if he
part.
even if he is supposed to be the big bad guy, because he created Metropolis. This is his city. This is his vision. And that's where you keep getting this common thread of the heart and the hands need a connecting point, which it needs the heart. And that's where Maria is trying to preach to the working class, to give them hope that the mediator that will combine the two, the dreamers, the visionaries, and the workers, they'll find some middle ground, and somebody's going to make that happen. So Daddy over here, he's the bad guy because he doesn't give a shit about the workers. This is how life
he's the mind
works.
Yeah, he's the head. Sorry. Yeah,
he's the visionary. But yes, DSC, you were going to say something else before passing it off, because Brian's been awfully quiet.
I know. No, I really want to hand it off to Brian right after this. But another fact is like the whole concept of the head and the hand needing a heart in order to mediate between them. That's actually deeply rooted in occultism, and it's no surprise that they would do that. I mean, you already explained the fact that, the book that led to the promotion of this film, but also the fact that the concept for those books came from a revolution that occurred in occultism from 1883 to 1910, which obviously its influence kept going much after, even to this day. But there is like this reoccurring theme in occultism, just to give y'all a little fact, that the idea is that the mind is cold and logical, right? And well, your hands are for action. Well, the thing is, if you rely just on action all the time, just mindless, just going about your day, like not thinking anything, you'll just become a mindless drone. And if you're constantly thinking in a cold, logical manner without any emotion, then, well, you're all you're going to do is achieve results, but you won't get any fulfillment out of it. You won't be able to help others, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Because I could go on with this for a million years. But the idea in those circles of occultism is that if the heart's involved as the mediator, then of course the hands now have purpose to them when they didn't have in the past. And the mind now finds fulfillment in giving the hands purpose because it now understands why it's doing what it's doing. But I'm going to stop now. I want to hand it off to Brian.
So just to cap it for the listener or the watcher, because that's how we can do now. Under the guise of Maria, the now robot sort of starts this worker uprising, fostered by the bad guy because he wants an excuse to like put them down militarily, and they realize the error of their ways because they forget about all their kids, and then we go full Bioshock with the flood, and the day is saved. I was honestly not sure how it was gonna go. Like it got so wild. Like there's this every now and then there was a shot where it's like, even though this was from 1927, I thought it could have been filmed like yesterday. Like obviously it's rather dated, but like as you expect it to be. But like when there's this this shot of like all these children sort of trying to get onto this crazy island of machines stuff because while the city's flooding because they break all the machines and stuff like that, and it was like that is wild. Just like they must have gotten like a billion kids because that's tough to do, and just like the way that they were like induced this sense of panic. I was like really kind of freaking out at the end. Like, how are they going to get out of this? Like, all the kids are going to die. But don't worry, no kids were killed, at least as far as I know.
So there's a little bit of a question mark on how many extras are actually used in this movie. There are so many extras.
There's so many.
I
was blown away.
One source said that there were like 30,000, which is a stretch. I don't think it's that many. Some said there were as little as 300, but in one scene alone, I'm like, no, this is hundreds, if not more, in this one scene. So
sorry, so like if you've ever like done a music video or something where like they're supposed to be, this is such a dumb analogy, but like this is where my mind goes. Like if you do like a club scene, because I've done 1,000 of these fucking, like where like somebody's band wants to have a club scene in their music video, and so they get like 20 of their friends, like, oh, this is gonna look fine. It looks like shit every time because you need so many more people than you think you need. So like the fact that they pulled it off with just these like, I was a little bit concerned about like the OSHA standards of all these children like getting crushed at the end of the movie.
Well, okay. So that scene that you're talking about with the water and the flooding, for those that have not seen it, there was a fail safe in place that the people on the upper level had to keep the bottom dwellers in check because they could just flood the underground.
Okay.
And it gets to that point. So during the filming, the director insisted on keeping the water cold, and they filmed for like 14 days in that. The actors were passing out of exhaustion. They were working so hard. It was insane. So yeah, OSHA standards. OSHA wasn't a thing back then.
Right, but like, wow, just
OSHA.
The
OSHA,
idea
go fuck yourself. That's what.
He just wanted to make all the actors miserable with the cold water.
Directors back in the day, here's the commonality of directors back in the day. Some of them were so obsessed with acquiring a certain result that unfortunately in their brilliant yet sometimes deranged creative madness, they would just induce upon actors and extras to do the most insane stuff imaginable, and it would lead sometimes to injury or a lot of trauma.
Isn't that the whole theme of this movie? The head and the hands, like missing the heart.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
so meta. That's a good call.
Dang it!
It is. You're right.
Hell
no,
yeah.
you're absolutely right. It's ironic, but the thing.
Irony.
Here's the thing, though, that this movie doesn't say, right? Because in this movie, a heart that they talk about, they automatically assume, okay, or impose on the audience that it's a pure heart, it's a good heart, right? But the thing is, if a bad or evil heart takes over, well, you're even more fucked up, okay? That's I don't. Maybe they were aware of it, but they simply did not want to go that deep into it because in that time period, obviously, people were really like those stories of the hero comes in and saves the day, even in a dark dystopia, right? Oh, and this is interesting. The fact that the statue of Freda's mother is named, like the fact that his mother is named Hel is just
right. I was thinking
wild.
Helena.
Yeah.
Helen.
No, like I was thinking yes, but I was thinking more like they were probably being a little cheeky on this, so
Sure.
probably hell like
They're a
like
bit
the
on the
Norse
nose
goddess. Yeah,
with
you
a
know,
bunch of things here.
yeah, like the Norse goddess of the realm of the dead. You know, again, very on the nose as usual. Very German of them. But
Germans don't typically do subtleties.
no, they like to just throw
Very
shit
direct.
at you straight in your face, and then they're like, "Have at it." But no, yeah, this is the mural of the dead mother, and ironically
But
enough,
But
yeah,
it's in the inventor's home.
it
And
is.
his home is
Mhm.
old looking. It doesn't really fit with the rest of the city, but it's untouched.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of bizarre, but it makes
Mhm.
sense with the way things progress through the
Yeah.
film that he has a statue of Hell, who was the wife of Daddy Batty,
Yeah.
mother of the male protagonist in the movie.
Yep.
So she died. We don't know how she died, I don't think.
No,
But
we
she's
don't.
gone. But we do get the dynamic between the inventor and Daddy Batty because
Oh wait, no,
seems like
no, she did. They did say
giving
she
birth.
died
There it
during
is.
birth. Okay.
See, you have to watch these films because you can't listen to what's happening.
It's not that. Come on, Jess.
So Daddy Batty comes to him because he needs advice. He knows he's a smart dude. He's a little off his rocker, but he knows he's a smart dude. But they both love the same woman, it seems. That's what I got from it, right?
Oh, it's definitely
And,
that. Like
Daddy Batty got the girl. He's not
Yeah.
over it. He still has a ginormous statue of her. And he's
Mhm.
been working on a project.
Yep. He wanted to what's it called? Recreate. He basically wanted to resurrect the dead woman, and basically make her new lover. You know, a reverse Frankenstein's monster kind of idea.
There she is.
Yeah. The classical.
And while Frankenstein's monster story has been around for a long time, we had not seen on screen the mad scientist.
Yes.
So this was obviously influential for a lot of films over the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Fun tidbit. So it is the same actress that plays Maria in the suit.
Oh, okay, cool.
And the suit was so uncomfortable that she would come out of it with bruises and cuts because it was not tailored to be comfortable.
Damn. No, you should. I was wondering about that because, like, I mean, I do see like a piece of skin there from the camera angle, but like back in the day, that's because we're watching. By the way, the colorized version. Like somebody used some AI technology to basically showcase this entire film in 4K with AI color enhancement technology, and on top of that, somehow this person found the original soundtracks that were used in this movie.
Yeah, so there have been different versions trying to remaster and put this thing back together because it was scattered across the planet. There were pieces that were found in Rio de Janeiro. There were some bits in New Zealand. And so they've remastered and tried to restore this for decades. I think the most recent version, this version was from 2010. And they added in those bits that were recovered from Rio de Janeiro and New Zealand. Well, it's crazy. So the quality is, from some scenes like you just saw there, like it's a little choppier than the rest of it because those were the recovered bits of film. But it's a fascinating thing.
Okay, that makes sense because there's a big. I wanted to see it, but they just tell it to you in the subtitles that Jofreda and Rotwang have a battle, and somehow the guy with the cybernetic hand loses, and they tell you that in the subtitles. I'm like, why didn't they show that? That sounds awesome, but like, okay, ostensibly it could have been, scattered about the globe.
I mean, it makes sense that they were found in places like New Zealand and especially Brazil. Like a lot of Nazis fled to Brazil.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah, a lot of Nazis and just in general German soldiers and some regular citizens after the war, they left for South America since all their assets were either taken or lost in the war. So they would literally just move to South America to start a brand new life. And You know, I have to say, because I was gonna talk this part right here. Will the 10 hours never end? That right there got to me, because it's like, just change 10 to 8 hours, and that's basically today. It's literally the exact same thing, like the whole work and toil for...
We've all had jobs like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's work and
most
toil.
of us have.
Yeah, exactly. It's work and toil for people that don't appreciate anything and always complain, right? But the second like somebody protests too hard, like these workers, all of a sudden they're interested in why the problem started and how to get rid of it, in short, right? And so this is where we get that, well, we're going to get it very soon, like that iconic scene of Maria giving her first speech, well, the first speech that our main character, Freda, sees, which is her giving an explanation of her motivation, which was the story of the Tower of Babel.
The Babel, yeah. Which is funny because as we said, they've been on the nose with something. So his dad works in the Tower of Babel, and so when she tells this, recounts the story and from the Bible of the Tower of Babel, it's like it's super on the nose.
I should mention, Jess, it's the story of the Tower of Babel based off of the eyes of esotericism, not of Christianity. Like, if you actually pay attention to what she's saying, the way she's telling the story is based off more of like other more ancient religions' takes on what the Tower of Babel was, which they explain it in here. It's basically the idea that actually human beings did not like split into multiple languages. They all understood the same language, but what they couldn't understand was, why are the majority of us who are working being made to work so hard for no thanks? And every time we ask, you get violent, okay? AKA the higher-ups, the visionaries, right?
Right. They don't, the workers don't care about your vision. They care about the blood, sweat, and tears that they're expending and
and living a decent life. That's kind of the whole purpose of the story, right? And so the whole theme of this entire show is that, we wanted to build a tower that would reach the heavens, and just declare after we get it built, that great is the creator who made us, and great is man for being able to achieve even a fraction of the creator's potential. And so what they think about is, we have an idea of what we want to do, but how are we going to build it? Well, there you go. Drag a bunch of clueless bastards in and force them to do it, or tell them, you'll get paid decent. You
make empty promises.
Exactly. And
if not outright slave labor, make promises. Empty promises.
Exactly.
Look how many people. In the scene.
That's a lot of extras. Damn.
It's a lot of extras.
Nice. Man, this is an interesting quote. One man's hymns of praises became another man's curses. See, this is the part I was saying. This is where it's more linked to like more ancient religions, because others would say, "Oh no, everybody spoke the same language." But the thing is, like, there was a break in communication, and as a result, everyone scattered, and that's where we got the separate languages from, because people just scattered and started speaking in different languages due to migrations and different groups of humans interacting with each other. But anyway, and they start getting some hope, and she goes, "Oh no, don't worry guys, you're gonna get your promised mediator. I will find you Neo, and he will make sure that you guys, okay, get your workers comp and workers right, okay?
Benefits.
Exactly.
Sick pay.
Yep. PTO.
Go.
Oh my God, Jesus, yeah. But no, that's literally the whole theme of the movie. Like, it's very basic, but very impactful.
At this point, the people, the workers, they're not planning for an uprising of any sort.
They're not. No.
They are not. They are just getting hope from her that someday things will change.
Mm-hmm. They were willing to cooperate, by the way. That's the crazy
This
part. So, like,
this
yeah.
has different ideas
Oh,
because
yeah.
Daddy Batty is like, we can't be having this. Let's whip them into
Mhm.
shape, get them on the right path. Use your robot machine person to do so and make it look like her because she's their savior or their holy mother-esque type of person, giving them hope. Make it look like her and ruin them, ruin their hope, dash their dreams, dash anything outside of their purposed existence. But mad scientist has different plans because he fucking hates the guy.
Bro, this is some man, this is why people say move on if you get friend zoned. Fuck. Fuck. Oh, hi. See this man. It's the most
Nerdy
random
Neo.
thing ever, but hello, Nerdy Neo. Oh my god. But yeah, this is insane. Cause it's like if he had just waited and let her like use her son as the vessel for peace, it would have actually turned out more beneficial for him as the lord of the city in the long run. But again, this is talking obviously about the hubris of the obsession with sickly obsession with power, so to speak, right? He's somebody that's been born into privilege, probably has been told that his legacy is to maintain the status quo, to make sure that the chain is never broken, because again, this is the legacy of your son and of your forefathers, and you have the responsibility to adhere to it. And sometimes that strong sense of responsibility can get twisted into obsession with power and greed. And well, yeah, there we go. Like I said, immediate smooching, but I don't know why the movie. I mean, I get it, but damn, I was kind of surprised it went that quick. But I guess they didn't have they needed to use every single minute on all those other sets. Which, hey, I don't blame them. Those were good set pieces. Okay,
the sets were fantastic because,
They
like,
were
okay,
amazing.
not to bring up Rings of Power, but Rings of Power.
Fuck. God damn it, Jess.
But the sets were so dynamic. I mean, they were multi-layered. There's when I look at Rings of Power and the shit that Hollywood puts out now, it looks more like a stage play than this. And this was coming off of stage play being the like main medium of storytelling. Like, I was impressed when I saw this. I'm like, dang, 1920, probably 25 when they were filming.
Yeah.
To be fair.
And one thing I do want to mention. Yeah. And I do want to mention one thing, right? So, funny enough, you mentioned Rings of Power, but I do.
Oh, funny.
Well, here's the thing, right? With that one and other Hollywood movies, because I do want to, because it's not just that show. It's the most expensive example of that show of what we're talking about. But in overall and lately, it seems that with a lot of Hollywood films and TV shows, they're very obsessed over the pizzazz, the big boom, get your attention effect. Keep the audience retention hooked to the screen, right? When it comes to like the big set pieces and whatever happens in them, instead of trying to use the set piece to tell a story to the audience that will keep their retention constant, right? And also invested in whatever the story that you're trying to tell through that set piece. A good example of a well done version of it in the more recent times would be the Battle of Helm's Deep in the Two Towers movie. Okay, if you take out the first half of the movie, okay, which is just basically everybody getting to that point where they reach Helm's Deep to prepare for the battle. If you take out the first half of the movie and you just show a normal rando, okay, the last half, which is just the Battle of Helm's Deep, and the end, they will be able to get the story in general, but very easily. You know why? Because the set piece is telling you the story through the battle. In the battle, there is a beginning, middle, and end to it, and it's very consistent. And it has this a sudden rise, and then it's descent, and then again another rise leading to the conclusion, right? And it's basically its own separate movie, okay, based off of how well shot and directed, and also how strong the script as well was, okay, and the acting direction. And so that is something I think we need to understand. This movie showcases it, I would say, more efficiently than the Two Towers, because obviously in Two Towers they had the advantage that these guys didn't have, which is,
dialogue.
Dialogue and digital effects and better sound processing technology.
So this particular scene, personally, watching it, I was like, this is kind of taking a while. The suspense was building. I understand you're building suspense. You're supposed to be feeling away, but it was reminiscent of when a bird gets in your garage and can't get out.
Yes.
And it's bumping its head, it's running into walls, it's all over the place. It's frantic, it's exhausting itself. And she is definitely doing all those things. She is the hummingbird that was stuck in my garage the other week. And I'm like, just go out the door.
I knew there was something.
Go out the door.
I knew there was something linked to this. Brian, she's calling this woman a very, very confused hummingbird, just smashing against walls.
Yeah. So when a bird gets stuck in your garage, the door's wide open, but they are confused and they can't get out. They're running into walls and hitting their head. It's like, just go. And they look at you like you're going to eat them. And it's like, no, I'm trying to help you. Go. But she captured the frantic bird.
She perfectly. Did. Now, I do need to say, like, people back then had way more time to waste. Kind of makes me jealous sometimes of older heads, because they're like, oh yeah, back then we did this and that, and movies were longer, we enjoyed them more. And I'm like, yeah, because you motherfuckers weren't stressed out every day needing to be forced to do something. Like, you were basically you could just chill out, smoke your weed, drink whatever the fuck you wanted, okay, for 2 hours. Nobody gave a shit. And then when you came back, they'll be like, how it went? And we're like, good. That's all that was needed. Nowadays, it's like, you have to make your time as efficient as possible, no matter what, right? Just go.
This is an important part. Okay, so big bad daddy batty guy, he wants to crush the lower class, keep their spirits down. Mad scientist over here is giving a directive to the machine no, we're going to destroy daddy batty instead. So this is recovered footage. But where? Oh, the 7 deadly sins are brought up. Death. I mean, there's so many.
Brian, come on, man. I know you want to talk about them. Come on. I know it's good. Come on.
Whipping her titties out. Look at her.
Damn. No. It's the one that's to the right.
Enhance.
Oh man.
So I was watching with my husband, and we were pretty much doing MST3K, and we were making jokes over it, like filling in the gaps, because even though they're title cards, it's like you fill in things. It was hilarious. But really, though, it is a very serious film, and it's visually striking. The details are just impressive. But what they do with the machine man, which I think is kind of funny, they refer to it as a machine man, when it's obviously a woman, it's got boobies and everything. Oh, Georgie. Let's see. Oh, shoot. I thought we were further along. When she's doing her little dancey dance.
Oh, yeah.
She becomes like the Jezebel, and supposed to ruin her image.
I'll give a modern example. What's it called? What's that vampire movie? Was it that Aaliyah was in? What the fuck was it? Hold on. It's called Queen of
Leonardo
Darkness?
DiCaprio?
No, Queen of the Damned. There we go.
I said Queen of the Damned.
Queen of the Damned.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was muted for all that. All right, cool.
I was wondering, I thought he was saying something. No, but
I mean, these two kind of had like a will they, won't they dynamic for a little bit, but we know he's into the main
Yeah.
character here. But
well, it's not. Well, this is 1927. You kind of go ahead and show that, even if you wanted to.
This guy was a creep. This dude,
Damn,
in
yeah.
the car, he was great.
This man literally is the German version of the Daddy Long Legs.
He was great, and then
his hat is phenomenal.
this
It looks super cool.
Jehoshaphat character really. I didn't know where they were gonna go with it because he's like this corporate toady, and he's like a good guy by the end of it. Like he's just there the whole movie, and then it's like, oh yeah, okay, he actually does have kind of an arc. I thought that was really great.
Well, he got fired because there were things happening, and he wasn't telling Daddy Batty about it. And he's like, "Yeah, you're done. Go get your last check, whatever." And then he was gonna off himself in the hallway. And
that was intense, right?
Yeah.
Were we supposed to take away that he's intentionally holding information from Daddy Batty?
Right? Is he incompetent, or was he intentionally withholding information?
Like he's like quiet, good guy, Oscar Schindler kind of dude. This was good. Like this whole movie has kind of got a like what I would call a Wes Anderson vibe to me. Like these insane machines that like don't do anything, and like these carnival game machines that just kind of somehow make everything work, and those elevators that just perpetually going. Like it really blew my mind.
Isn't that weird? Okay, so think about it this way. You're in a building and the elevators are that where they're just perpetually moving. You step on, you step off. But like meanwhile, you're in your freaking living room having tea or whatever. And there's like people just like rising and like
yeah, it's kind of weird, you know. It's like oh god. That'd be very strange, you know, having morning coffee and then like see some random ass dude like, hey, morning neighbor.
From this scene, we're meant to take that it's like a Sopranos thing. Like he's offering him a cigarette, but in the cigarette case is the address that he found from Prater. Like, I know what's up, yo. So like okay, it's like an intimidation thing. I thought those.
But Josephat gets a little ballsy too. I was surprised that he got so ballsy with this guy, but.
Right.
The whole smack with the gloves.
It was just such a cool thing to be able to like. They had this sense of how we're going to convey this irony, without speech. Like he's psyching this guy out. I thought that was such a masterclass.
He just keeps pulling things out of pockets. Like he's pocket guy. Like he's got.
He didn't know at this time, by the way. He did not know until he showed him that this guy was basically a goon from
a muscle.
The muscle from his former employer, and basically
they call him the Thin Man, but he looks pretty jacked to me. I don't know.
He is the Brute Squad.
Hey, well done.
There you go. Yeah, I'm surprised he made out of that alive. You know, because
I thought he was a goner for sure.
Yeah, no, it's
like the comedic relief that dies. He does a good job, and then
and here she is, stuck, imprisoned by again, creepy genius mad scientist, as usual, because we all know that's how it always works, and he's just. I don't know what happened. It's kind of weird.
I don't know why he needs to be so creepy with her.
That's
he's not trying to hurt her, but we don't know that
he's
not
it's
trying
the
to
wife
hurt her.
obsession because right, like at the end of the movie, he calls her hell.
And then he gets a little grapey.
Yeah,
he does. Like literally,
and I kind of dig it that they don't go into like this crazy backstory of the why he's so obsessed with Daddy Patty's dead wife.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know, kind of left in the air to be creepy.
Yeah, I think that was I think that was just their objective in general. Like they just wanted to be that, and I thought it was kind of wild.
The over the top stage acting from the son kind of bugged me at the start. It's just, he's doing everything, and then I was totally into it by the end of the
same.
First off, that John, shut up. He said it's her kink.
I like the wallpaper. No, John, no.
It went full haunted house here.
Yeah,
that was cool.
You know, I like how they do. I do like the fact that they're able to like show a sense of urgency, even though we know that they're speeding up certain segments.
But to like build all this shit in 1927 or 25
a
or
lot
whatever,
of money. There's a lot of money. Like I told you,
mind-blowing.
I mean, they'd not spent money on a silent film. Well, they were all silent at the time, so they hadn't spent money on a film production like this before ever. And it's kind of interesting too, because it did come out of Germany. It wasn't part of Hollywood. It was It was kind of like combating Hollywood.
This is like an indie movie.
It totally was. And then Paramount bought it. Paramount bought it, and they chopped it up. They switched things around. They changed the whole story and the whole point of the film, as far as like the lower class versus the upper class and all this disconnect between the two. They tried to make it out like the lower class were the bad guys. They chopped it up.
Fucking corporate America, motherfucker! I knew it. I knew it.
Shocked how it ended, because I was for sure. I thought that was because he starts to go kind of commie, the son, at the beginning. I'm like, oh God, is he going to be like a man of the people or some bullshit? And he is. Yeah. But they don't overthrow the top. They just get along. I was like, that is amazing. I didn't see it coming.
I mean,
I wonder why.
Well, because
this
that's how it works.
Is so fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I keep saying the detail, but the freaking detail in this room alone. Oh my God, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's great.
No, it's amazing. And
practical effects. Like all of it.
Oh, and Brian, I did want to say something. So regarding that part at the end, there's a reason why they do that, because it's been shown throughout history in general. That's the only way, like, society is able to continue functioning. Like, you can't,
but
you
like,
can't be like too. Oh yeah, I know, but
the movie.
It is kind of strange. Yeah, you're right. It is strange that they show it in the actual film, but at the end of the day, like, that is how society functions. Like, if you completely dismantle a government, you better have a backup plan to like restart it in a better version of it, because if you don't, this just leads to anarchy and chaos, which just basically, that's Europe in the Dark Ages. Okay, that's basically what it would be. Just complete lawlessness and violence. And
when did Frankenstein come out?
Oh, it would have come out like 8 years after it, probably.
Okay.
Let me see. I'll tell you right now. Okay, no, first one was 1931. So this came out 4 years after this film.
Okay.
So that's the interesting part. And
a lot of this, like the lab equipment. What's up?
Yep. I thought she was gonna die. I thought that
I was happy she lived.
Out of her, I was very happy she lived. I was relieved, but I was like, okay, so he's gonna suck the life force out of her. He's gonna, like, body snatchers, like full on, like just take her essence and put it into this machine. She's fine. It's just copy pasta. We're gonna take this
copy pasta
form,
put
it on that, and we're good to go. Which is great. I love
this
that for her.
This also blew my mind, because he's like, "Where's my girlfriend?" And he's like, "She's with your father." And I was like, are they implying some sort of saucy, because I know, I think of the past as this Puritan time, but they're implying this bizarre, like, his dad stealing his girlfriend.
That was a thing, believe it or not. Like, it's I guess for the crowds of back then, like, everybody knew people did it, but we didn't usually say it out loud, especially in production.
So
there's that people's eyebrow. So good.
Yes. I love that she's got this like wonky eye, like a doll. The dolls that had the eyes out.
That is.
She's got kind of like a weird eye thing that happens.
She does.
But piggybacking on what you just said, it was a topic that came up when I was watching it. We tend to apply this wholesomeness toward the past. People have always been the same. People have always been dirtbags, sluts, man whores, like whatever you want to call them. People have not changed over thousands of years. It's just we document it differently, or we showcase it differently. We're more vulnerable because in this time period, you don't show it because it's not polite society. But people at their fundamental, like their core, they have not changed ever.
Totally.
So when you hear stories from like your wild grandparents or whatever, things they did when they were kids, I didn't hear that because mine were dead. But I hear other people hearing from things that their grandparents had done. And it's like, yeah, they were 20-year-olds at one point and they were, painting the town red and being awful people, garbage humans.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
I mean,
It actually makes me feel a little better to know that people were not just better, they were just different, or they wore different clothes. And, there weren't cameras around recording everything.
that's also true. And, you could go to the gym in peace. And now your home is your gym. But anyway, that's different out of pocket topic.
Anyway,
but
I went on a tangent there. I'm so sorry. Let's go. Keep
What?
talking.
You stole my ability? No, but I will say, like, with Maria in this case. Oh, I see. So okay, so I was wondering what the heck I was seeing that time. So it seems what happened here is the mad scientist like took advantage of used his one of his gadgets to basically, well, screw with this kid's mind and knock him out, right? And then some of the things you're seeing are happening in the real world, but at the same
some are not.
Yeah, some are not. Like the part with like the 7 deadly sins and death, obviously not. But the part with the dad and Maria, yes, that was true. And the thing is,
I want those lamps. Just saying.
I won't lie, those are pretty cool lamps, but yeah, it would be so possible today. But
this scene.
Oh, this is chat. If anything, watch this. This is
we gotta watch this one at normal speed.
Like, if y'all are ever wondering where the hell Marilyn Monroe and all these famous
diversity.
Yeah, if y'all ever wondered like where all these like famous female stars got their inspiration to do like the iconic dances that you know of, this is it.
The burlesque
it came from
dancers.
The 20s. Exactly, it came from the 20s. Believe it or not, this was one of those examples.
It's pretty hot.
Yeah.
It's got way saucier than I would have thought.
Same, and then all the dudes
Germans,
being all creepy pervs, like
I'll and then one guy who's just like angry, like
he was so mad. Yeah,
he looks like he's angrily jerking it. I mean,
yeah, right,
like in a sea of other men.
Totally, that's his thing.
I'll tell you why. Because in Germany in the 20s, they were actually more. They were considered to be like a more
heavy breathing.
Yeah, they were considered a more sexually free society, believe it or not, compared to everybody else. No, for real. For real. I am not kidding. It's this historical fact. The first like club for like basically, well, they say trans, but in reality it was just gay cross-dressers, gay bars, whatever. They started in Germany until they were outlawed. Exactly. Until they were outlawed by the Nazis because propaganda, of course. But
Indeed.
Exactly. But before that, Germans were wildin', as they usually do when they're not trying to do other crazy shit.
They're freaky deakies? What are you talking about?
I mean, have you ever met a German that wasn't in one way or another? If it's not with their hobby, it's with alcohol. If it's not with their alcohol, well, you know what the other thing is. But
oh no, don't say that. I had a German boss.
I'm sorry to break the illusion.
Oh no.
This was
she really sells the robot thing without like overdoing it, you know?
Yeah, she does.
That was really wonderful. And the looks
hot,
of
right?
lust are amazing. Yeah.
This is like the
eyeballs.
Yeah, this is like the most flexible person I've seen. So like this is wild.
That's the best move right there.
Yeah.
The crazy, there it is.
Yeah, and then he's also like seeing it,
seeing it as the theater of his mind, I guess.
Yeah, like the theater of his mind, like the woman he met is actually like not what he thought.
And the nurse is like, drink your absinthe.
Yeah. And then the priest going nuts, going like, oh yeah, this is revelation. Y'all going to hell if you don't follow what the Bible telling you right now. Queen of Sheba come up, 7 deadly sins.
Full horror of Babylon.
Yep.
Her rising up. That is
dope.
Literally that. Oh, and then this is the best part of the movie. This part.
Ooh.
Perfect. Just perfection.
Totally do. Yeah, he's got
flute.
like the long fingers.
Yeah. No, this is perfect. Now, I do find it ironic that the actress playing one of 7 deadly sins, like when she turns the human walking version, literally making her like cover her melons, you know, even though like the statue showed them off anyway. But you know, random side fact there. But yeah,
So he's not only trying to destroy the reputation of Maria, but it's this weird like control mechanism over the upper crust because like all these dudes are like enthralled to her. Oh god, that's so sick with the Reaper,
the scythe. Yep.
And
this is Italian, I can tell.
Intermezzo.
Yeah, end of intermission, and I hear says Furioso or literally Fury. I assume is the name of this chapter, which makes sense considering what happens afterwards.
Little side
I thought they were
going
kiss.
on.
Yeah, totally. I was right there with you.
Yeah.
And the Thin Man. I was thinking of the detective movies, but that guy.
I was thinking it's Slender Man.
He crept in there too.
Yeah, bro. I don't.
Oh, but he so looks like the singer from Covenant.
I was gonna say he's gonna One World, One Sky the shit out of this place.
Also, Grand Moff Tarkin.
He's their love child.
Get those vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does get that. Yeah, he does give all those vibes.
Yeah,
it is really well
it's
cast.
Interesting. It's interesting how when you were deprived.
Could you just go back? This fucking face is like so overdone.
So like they start stabbing each other over this.
Literally. Yeah, they're losing their mind.
Unfortunately, here's the thing, right? It like a lot of
they're just into robot chicks, you know. Don't robot.
They just don't know it.
Yeah, well, y'all need to like. Here's a fun fact for y'all. So the reason why they show their face off and then like he talks about like what happened afterwards between those two dudes. Yeah,
it's so gross.
Here's the thing.
The eye contact.
Yeah. Nah, bro. I will say this. So this is like something that people back then, well, I would say for thousands of years, humans feared this part, especially the men, but specifically this is like, for this society, it was very puritanical at the time. This was like a cautionary tale because it's like people had always seen what would happen when like a pretty girl shows up and all of a sudden best friends just start fucking each other up for like one girl. But sometimes it would lead to death in the most extreme cases, you know? It's just like showcasing like the dangers of excessive lust.
Women, you know? ruining friendships.
I mean,
look at that.
Yeah, but Buddy said, "Fuck you," but she's like, "Oh man,
no."
Yeah, and then he's like, "Bro, I'm not gonna lie. For a moment, I thought I was gonna smooch him." You know, KGB style, but
always in style.
Oh yeah. If Elon keeps making these things more efficient. Oh God. Oh Jesus. Oh Lord. But the mediator. I always want, man, some of the words that they use here is very interesting. I'm sure in German they sounded way much cooler and more.
I wonder, the original translation versus like how we read it in our own language, like the meanings and some of the things are lost, I'm sure. But what I was gonna say a long time ago, and I totally blanked. It's interesting when you're deprived of the dialogue, my brain anyway, I don't know if it's everybody, but the brain wants to fill in the gaps. So you create your own depth to what's happening. Which is really cool. Like I appreciate that. When everything nowadays is so spelled out for you, there's no mystery, there's no
this
thought-provoking.
Right.
What? Yeah, this was wild. Like, and she does that like wonky eye thing and like smirkiness and like she's great.
She's great. Like eyeliner notwithstanding, there was never a moment where you were confused as to if you were looking at the robot or her, just because her affect is so different. And the cult leader thing,
the body mechanics.
Yes,
it's that. It's so
the uncanny
fingers.
Yeah. No, a lot of the man.
So she's like, oh right, now she's hella rabble rousing.
Yeah.
We've turned into a director's commentary, but that's okay.
She's trying to get them to rise up and revolt. And so that's what the mad scientist inventor dude.
Yeah, and then
um,
she starts clutching her clothes, and it gets all hot.
And everyone's like,
yeah,
who lubricates the machine joints with their own blood?
Buddy.
Yeah.
She is riling them.
She is
big time.
She knows what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's a machine.
Who feeds the machine
ironically
flesh.
By the way, it's interesting, like when they colorized like the entire like film, because obviously back in the day they would give like they obviously a lot of the actors, especially the main ones, if they want to do like some kind of special effect to like enhance their skin to be more visible to the camera, they would give them like excessive white makeup, which is what you can see here.
Yes, these are some of the best shots where she's all
right
like,
here,
giving him the eyebrow all horned up. Yeah.
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 Oh, there it is.
Fucking John. Yo, John. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Punch everybody.
And he does well
you.
here. He takes out like 20 dudes.
Amazing. And the worker that he originally was like, hey, I'll take your spot. You take my life. Somebody pulls out
a knife on the man.
Oh, is that who that was? That was Georgie?
That was Georgie.
It was Georgie.
Okay, because I was like, why is he so sad about this random dead guy?
Yo.
Okay, that makes sense.
Arcus.
Yes, Arcus.
3 months.
Hey.
And here's the fight that, like, they just sort of do it off camera, but if it's scattered onto the winds, that makes sense.
By the way,
so another reason why Hollywood, when Paramount bought it, they chopped it up to shit, is the runtime was too long. So they tried to keep things probably 15 to 20 minutes shorter than this was. But what they did to it was just total butchery. But yeah, Georgie saved him, sacrificed himself.
Man, I'm sorry, I'd say this offbeat comment here, but before that, dang Arcus. Dang. He's really
I have ooh in my soundboard.
Oh man.
No, I don't. I have a
whoa.
Thank you.
Nah, that's wild, Arcus. Hey, thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're off to a very good start, everybody. And just to make it better, John Richards, being himself as usual, says this freaking robot Maria runs on Diddy oil.
Oh, he did say that. Oh no.
I'm so sorry, but like it killed me. Oh man.
So that scene right there, she is feeling it. She is like, hell yeah, you're all my bitches. We're doing the thing. We're storming the castle.
I'm sorry, chat. Like, I'm so sorry. I know I should not have highlighted the Diddy oil crap, and then Jess goes on being like, yeah, she's just out there just being all like, yeah, bitches.
Likely.
Yeah, follow me. There you go. Oh, man.
Thank you. No. Look at her go.
Yeah, no, she's leading.
She's got her simp army behind her.
Oh. Damn. Like,
the way they set that shot up at the beginning is really fascinating. Just this cold, sterile, like hallway with these automaton people, and they come back to it, and it's the site of a riot. I thought the callback was well done.
Nah, yeah, it's true. Oh God,
the sets are so large that
they're just like crazy.
They're so massively tall, and they're impressive. Unlike Rings of Power.
God damn it.
they get so wound up, they forget that they all have kids, I guess.
They did.
Right?
She literally riles them up so bad that in their like there's a reason why the chapter in like the Italian version in the Italian footage version that they took out was called Fury. It's because literally she leads them into like this mindless crowd mentality fury to just destroy, not even think. She literally riles them up enough to where they don't even think about their own kids.
I like this character a lot because he's just like, I'm just trying to make the shit work, you guys. He doesn't really have a dog in the fight other than like, I just you guys, like he's the guy in your office. It's just
Beardo
like
is
eBay all the time.
conflicted. He was trying
Yeah.
to appease Big Bad Daddy guy. Now he's trying to like appease everybody. It's like, okay, is he playing both sides or is he actually just trying to survive? Probably just trying to survive.
Definitely trying to survive. But also he
I
knows
thought this
that.
was interesting too.
Yeah. What?
The monitors and the screens, 1925.
Right.
Mhm.
That blew
Yeah.
my mind.
See, they
And they
the
can't talk
crazy-
to the
Video
picture.
call.
He's got to use the phone.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they haven't figured it all the way out yet, but like,
Mhm.
like damn.
Yeah.
But
Guess we do
this
have
is
the same brain.
yeah. I mean, this is the mother of sci-fi films.
Mhm.
It's the first that pulled any of this, and it's like, yeah, I see
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh no, it's great.
Could've-
Just casually kicks it.
Kick.
Not even use his hands. No, he's just fucking pa. Hey. Yeah, and then all of a sudden he's like, "No, don't destroy the machine." And I'm
Yeah,
like, "Why the
he-
fuck did you let them?"
Because he's trying
Welcome.
to.
Well, yeah, I know.
Trying to
He's
bait
trying
him.
to like, yeah, he's trying to like reason with him,
They
but
go
like,
too far. Is that what we're meant to take? Like he
Yeah.
wants to instill this riot so he can
Mhm.
have an excuse to put him down. But
yeah,
they fuck too much shit up because like
yeah. He thought
okay.
it was within the plan, right? So like, he and the
Right,
mad
so
scientist's plan was like, have all of this set up in order to.
Where she's like, oh,
Yeah.
birding around. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all to like
But-
incite the riot and give an excuse to bury all the poor people in the city at once, right? And gain back power and stability. But like,
Sure.
he wasn't expecting, obviously, the issue with the mad scientist telling the robot to just
Oh,
Go
right.
ham.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so Big Bad Daddy, he didn't
an
think
important point.
anyone, and they touched on this because they said, what about if they choose to uprise? And he's like, they won't. He's not
Right.
worried about it. It was never even a thought to him that his rival, his romantic rival, right, wouldn't just go with what he said. He was just so
Mhm.
like, I don't
That's
know
an
what the
interesting point.
word would be, but he's so like confident that
Right.
everyone is just going to do as he says, even his rival who still loves his wife that died.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, he's just going to go along for the sake of going along. It's like,
Yeah.
That's
buckle up, Buttercup.
Hey, look, somebody said that worker that kicked the lever down. Apparently, that's a Beardo time traveling back to 1925. So
Called him Beardo today.
yeah,
I kept referring to this guy's Beardo.
it is Beardo.
Brian, there's a content creator, Fear the Beardo.
Yeah, and yeah, he's
yeah.
got a beard.
He's got a beard.
I assumed as much. Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
man.
there's subtleties to the names of some channels.
He also has
but,
sunglasses sometimes while indoors. You know.
What a crazy person.
This is the scene that Brian was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
This is crazy. And back in the day, if you've ever been to a place like Universal Studios and taken the studio tour, you will hear the thing that back in, like, not even this time period, but it had to have, even in like the 50s and 60s movies that they would put out, they would add milk to the water so that it was visible on camera.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure. I would presume that they did this as well. The miniatures on this, great job. Also, that's a lot of kids. And
a lot of kids.
I
Wow.
heard some factoids
Mhm.
about this film. They pulled from the poor regions of the area, and
Yeah.
they just got the poor kids to be in the film.
Yep, they really did. Like I told you, this was after World. This movie was probably filmed about 7 years after World War I was over. And what
Yeah.
for some background information for y'all in chat, in short, what occurred is after the war was being done, and what?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
I
yeah.
paused it.
Yeah, no. After the war was done, and every country decided collectively in Europe to give Germany the middle finger, right? So they gave them the full blame for starting the war, and said, "Yeah, y'all have to pay everybody you attacked in Europe reparations." And what ended up happening is the value of the German currency at the time was so worthless that it was more efficient for people to use it as fuel to light a fire, like a dumpster
Oh.
fire, in the middle of the winter to stay warm than actually use it. It was that
Oh,
worthless.
wow.
And ironically, one of the individuals that grew up during this very rough time was a certain young man who was an artist, very pure-hearted man who just
Uh-oh.
wanted to be an artist
Uh-oh.
until the
Uh-oh.
situation of the times drew him to basically turn into a monster. Yes, a painter. A very good painter, by the way. Could have had could have had probably a very wonderful life as a very good, influential painter for the good of mankind, but unfortunately, well, life said fuck you, and he said I'll fuck you
change of
back,
plans.
and he ended up getting a mustache, and well, a lot of people died.
A little one,
yeah. A lot of
Just a little
people, you know, they got dragged into his temper tantrum shit. But
So
yeah, it was because of that. Okay, there's a reason why they were able to get so many extras, and especially child extras.
Oh, no.
It is because it was a time period where everybody was so poor. These film crews would show up and be like, "Yeah, you know, we'll pay you this much, little buddy," or they would go to the poor parents of these kids and be like, "Yeah, oh yeah, we'll pay you guys this much. We just need you guys to give us a little Timmy over here for about 45 days.
splash
Don't worry,
around in some cold water for 14
yeah.
days. It's
Yeah.
fine.
You'll get him back after 45 days. It's okay." By
Fine.
the way, we're not liable for any injuries. Sorry. He'll be climbing a lot of shit, but don't worry. He'll be climbing while there's water. Yeah, it's
So,
crazy.
okay. Yes. Anyway, this scene here reminded me so much of Blade Runner.
Yes. Big time.
It's like,
really
oh,
cool.
retro Blade Runner, which goes to my thinking of nothing is ever original ever. Like in the
Right.
last 60 some odd
Never.
years that we think that things are new and like, yeah, they zhuzh it up a little differently and make it like extra. But come on. You had the foundations laid out for you 100 years ago at this point. It's pretty amazing. That's all. Look at them.
Yeah.
You're just missing the Asian lady with the Coke.
And funny you say that because there was a quote that somebody said that basically, I'm going to paraphrase it, is in short, it was said, everything that ever needed to be discovered has already been discovered. It's just being rediscovered because it was lost long ago and somebody remembered some of it. So they use whatever they remember from it, and then they add some extra stuff to repurpose it and make it unique to whatever time it was being used and made. So yeah, that's some people believe that philosophy that technically we've learned everything, we just forget it and then rediscover it time and time again.
Okay, back to biblical stuff.
Yes.
There is nothing new under the sun. Comes to
Exactly.
mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally. And as usual, we got the good old visual shot here. Perfect shot, by the way. You know, desperate kids and man says, yeah, the desperate kids here being like, help, I'm drowning. And then bro's like, shut the fuck up, kid. Give me a moment. Smooches the woman and is like, okay, fine. I'll save y'all. Yeah, exactly. Come on, man. The guy's been through a lot of crap. He fought a mad scientist with a cybernetic arm.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. Any bro dude out there would do the same, okay? But no, yeah. This scene is kind of insane.
So many extras.
It
Yeah,
is.
And a lot of them
really-
are children. It's
Yeah, it really made me like
Concerning.
panic. I hope those kids are okay. Right.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
I was like,
Yeah.
how are they going to get out of it? I didn't think they were going to be able to get the door, but then they did.
this was another one of those scenes that I felt like it went on a little too long for my
Yeah.
taste. But
Mhm.
I understand building anxiety for the sake of the drama, especially without
Mhm.
dialogue, right? So I think
Definitely.
they do have to drag things out a little bit longer without the dialogue to convey the emotion of what's happening. But yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like this is why I say all the time that I'm jealous of the fact that people back then had so much time to waste. It's incredible. Because this is the only reason these scenes run for so long. Contrary to our current taste, is because people had so much time to waste.
Well, our brains have been wired with social media and all that
Yeah,
to be
exactly.
instantaneous and get gratification in 7 seconds, like Vines.
Yeah.
Back in the day, now it's TikToks, now it's shorts and reels. We want the hit right away. I mean, if a video is like 2 minutes long, I'm like, nah. If it's supposed to
Yeah.
be funny,
hmm
it's like, nah, I'm not gonna watch it. Get to the punchline. Everyone wants to get to the punchline.
Yeah. I mean,
Guilty. But yeah,
yeah.
I mean, we're so rapid paced in society now. It's nice to, kind of turn off a bit and revisit some of these older,
hmm
more classic, I mean, groundbreaking
Yeah.
things. And
We're not even
this
so.
shaped,
Yeah.
this changed the way that films were created for forever
hmm
and inspired the films that we love. Um, the cult classics, like all of them. This is, I mean, even if you don't like silent films, I've only seen one other silent film, which was Nosferatu a long time ago. Um, I can't say I'm a super fan of silent films, but I can appreciate all of the other elements, and especially when leading up to like this video, this stream, I'm looking at it differently than if I were just to consume it, because I'm looking for talking points. I'm looking for like, okay, scrutinizing the scenes and what beyond what I'm feeling, like what were they trying to do and what does it actually accomplish? Like it's actually really amazing. But if I
Mm.
were to just sit down on a Saturday afternoon for my own sake and watch a silent film, I may not do that. But
hmm
leading up to conversation about it, I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
I think we all need to take a step back sometimes and revisit the oldies, just to appreciate how much art and talent went into things, because we are so used to
hmm
instant gratification, the digital effects, the wow factor,
Yeah.
when actually the wow factor exists in these basic
hmm
storytelling. I mean, the way that they
Yeah.
told stories back then, it's really amazing what they were able to do 100 years ago.
Yeah. No, and they do this on. I mean, people don't seem to understand, but like human beings are wired or not wired to like be this like fast satisfaction, in to be like rapidly satisfied because like that drives your brain insane. It takes up more energy, and
Hmm.
there are times where like you literally need to decompress, but then you're just looking for more dopamine hit after dopamine hit, and eventually like your tolerance becomes so high you can't find enjoyment in the simple shit. And so
Hmm.
that's why people always say, take a step back or appreciate watching a long film.
Touch
Like,
some
look,
grass.
exactly. Here's the thing, right? With me, I was watching when I was watching this film, at first, I won't lie, I understood what you were saying just now. The idea of like, oh, it's a silent film, I'm gonna try to watch it, but then 8 minutes into it, I'm like watching something else. But then hours later, I come back, watch 40 minutes, then watch
Hmm.
something else. That's like, like a modern movie. Like I was watching, I think, Scream 5 for some reason. It was just there. And then after I finished watching it, I'm like, okay, yeah, let me just watch. And then at one point, I just watched like the movie while watching Scream 5 because I got tired of certain story points of Scream 5 until we
Hmm.
got near the end, right? And then I stopped watching the movie. And then after that was done, I'm like, well, for some reason, The Nun was put on, and I'm like, fuck that. I'll just watch. I'll just watch whatever's left of this movie, and that's how
Okay.
I was able to watch it. And
There you go.
it made me realize that just even unconsciously with our entertainment, we are wired that way. We've been wired that way, I should say. Shouldn't be that way because
Yeah.
then you can't appreciate everything. Like the reason why, uh, the reason why I can trash on certain bad shows, aka Rings of Power, is because I took the time I took time out of my day years ago to read the books, which are literally the equivalent of length of a silent film in the sense that like you get a lot of exposition, a lot of wonderful set pieces being depicted to you through good word craftsmanship, a lot of detail, right? Into
Hmm.
every little paragraph that you read, okay? And eventually there is a payoff, but you have to as the reader, you have to earn the payoff. And that's one thing that these films were focused on at the time, which is hooking the viewer with the plot, the detail, the characters, and then making them earn the payoff. Hence why the people remember the films even if they didn't like them. It's because of those payoffs. You had to earn them. Nowadays, we don't have to earn anything to payoffs. Like, I could watch a movie trailer and be like, oh, that's the whole plot of the movie. I already know what's going to happen.
Okay, so
Think about it.
To piggyback on that, I don't know if you've read Brave New World.
I don't think I have.
Never did.
Oh, you must.
Okay.
So it is a future society, and you go to the feelies, you go to the theater, you watch a movie basically, and it's like a 4D experience, right? Everyone shuts off. Everyone is taking like summer holidays. They're on drugs. They're doped up. They watch the things. Everything is about feeling good. It's a little creepy, especially every year things get creepier because 1984, Brave New World, these things are not supposed to be guidebooks. However, they did predict some sort of elements of society that we are experiencing now that are creepy as hell. Because I read those books initially when I was a teenager. And it's like, oh, future dystopian, blah, blah, blah. That's never going to happen. And then it's like, okay, you revisit it now in 2024. It's creepy as shit. But what you were just saying about like dopamine hits and all the things, it is so reminiscent of the experience of the person living in just like enjoying life in Brave New World, and this is just normal. And oh, don't get me started on how they treat children in Brave New World, introducing sexual things very early on, and they're like, oh yeah, it's totally normal, it's totally fine. And it's like I started listening to the audiobook Brave New World again like maybe a year ago, and I'm like, pause. Pause. It's a little too close to home these days. But yeah, it's
want to hear some wild stuff I've seen on like some some re-uploaded TikTok clips on YouTube that people react to. One time one person asked like these people, right, in a room, like, oh, what age did you lose your V card, right? And these people are all like Gen Z, right? I swear to God, at least damn it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Gen Z gross.
I don't identify as Gen Z. I was just dragged into it. I am a 90s baby. Okay? But
I don't identify as a millennial. I identify as Gen Y because we questioned everything and we went from analog to digital. There are so many reasons why it should be Gen Y and not millennial. That was kind of just like, oh, we're going to blanket term a 15-year group of people. Yep. No. There are definitely different groups. Oh, okay. So this
is perfect. Hold on, we'll hold back on that prior comment. Let's appreciate this
scene. The actress, they used practical effects. Oshid wasn't around. Her dress actually caught on fire.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I was.
It was the Wild West.
I mean, damn.
The parking situation. What the heck happened there? Was there a crash?
I think so.
He thinks that's his lady love, Maria.
Yeah. He does think it's her being burned to death, but then like the robot shows up eventually. Like it lets off the disguise.
Zooms in on the eyeliner.
Yeah, of course. Always the eyeliner. Like I don't know why, but they need to hone in on that eyeliner.
And homie scientist dude is like,
homie's
projecting
like,
that hell is her now, Maria, the real Maria, and he's getting a little grapey.
Oh man,
it got uncomfortable.
What's that quote? What's that quote from Boondocks? It's basically it. It's literally the booty bandit.
The booty bandit. No!
It's the booty bandit quote from Boondocks. What you were seeing there.
Oh no!
It's true.
Okay, so I thought her like getting stuck on the rope and like I thought that was hilarious, but I digress.
Hey,
did you laugh too?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh man, hold on. Hold
It's
on.
the
What is it?
robot.
Ostensibly because the flesh burns off. I was like, that is fucking gnarly.
It literally, the science, the mad scientist is literally like, I like you and I want you. Now we're
Oh,
gonna
no.
do this the easy way or the hard way. It's
No,
literally
not
that.
like this. Not like this.
It's literally that. I mean, it's wild. When I heard this, I was like, oh my god. I was glad he showed up. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, as wild as this movie was back then, like I don't even know what they would have tried. Like,
I mean,
anything.
it's actually wild for my senses now, but like,
Yeah.
because I'm applying the wholesome, you know,
Yeah.
whatever we've applied to people 100 years ago, it was shocking.
Yeah, it would have been. No
People
wonder.
were disappointed that it wasn't actually a woman that they burned to death.
Yeah, and then they were about to mob on the lord of the entire city, and then
yeah.
But then, like, the random dude, of course, Joseph F. literally tells them, no, you idiot, stop! Your children are alive! And then all of a sudden they're like, oh my god, what have we done?
And Daddy Batty over here, he loves his son. He's not like, I mean, it's like the evil bad guy, but he also has a soft spot. Like, he's genuinely worried. And so at the end of all this, it's really just about like doing right by your kid, I think.
Did he just drop her ass? Like,
he did.
Like, fuck you. Your booty's not worth the trouble. That's literally what the fucker did. Just dropped her.
He's just falling off the roof. Oh no.
Damn, bro.
It's
dude, I don't even, and by the way, that fall, like, if you go back to like when she fell, like, I think they must have shot her like doing this by herself, like the stunt. Like, I don't think they used like a test dummy or anything.
They had a dummy double.
No, yeah, I don't think so. Like, this was her, and she's
caught hardcore.
That. Like, I thought for a moment she had pulled the freaking shoulder bone, you know, just tore a muscle, grabbing that shit the way she did. Oh yeah, this is the
information.
Information, because that's all they know. Yeah, that's quite telltale sign. My God.
So we got Beardo.
Yes.
Up here, kind of like being the representative of the people. He kind of threw under the bus at some points, but you know, okay.
Beardo trying to convince Ubisoft to stop giving in to Sweet Baby Inc.'s demands, and then Ubisoft says, "Fuck you."
John Richards problematic white guy stunt doubles hadn't been invented yet. Doing it live.
Yes, doing it live. That's how we do it. That's how it's genuine. They don't have the heart to do it.
So Neo, of course, is the mediator because his daddy is the head. Beardo is a representative of the hands, and they bridge the gap. What that looks like beyond this little like kumbaya session, who knows? Up to your own imagination.
Yeah.
But we're left with a happy ending of sorts.
That's how it was.
Not in the case of Paramount Studios.
Well, yeah, not counting them, but
what did they do?
I have no idea.
Oh. they according
yeah, go.
Well, according to what I remember we were talking about earlier, it seems that they, like, because of the ridiculously long runtime, they decided to cut out a lot of scenes that would have been very useful in terms of giving context to why certain characters did what they did, but also why we had the ending that we had, right? And it sort of painted the working class as the true villains rather than the villain that we know now, which is the mad scientist. They started off with Daddy Bad Guy being, the so-called villain, but in actuality he was just a puppet being used by the mad scientist.
You think so?
Interesting. I'm curious when the Paramount Studios version came out and what sort of like political propaganda was happening at the time. I need to do more research on that. It'll
most likely be anti German propaganda, because this was like when the Nazi Party started gaining their power in 1927, which is when the film was released, and then onward.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and as it became more popular in Germany because they were promoting the fact that like, oh yeah, you know how like our money right now is as worthy as toilet paper? Well, we'll fix that. We'll make it be worth more than toilet paper, and you'll be able to live good lives. And and they also blamed the Jews or tiny hats as Ryan calls them.
Ryan, no.
Yeah, they blame the Jews for everything, for their economic woes specifically, because unlike them, they were smart enough to keep a safety net stash somewhere for a rainy day that saved most of their businesses from being destroyed. And, well, fucking hell. John out here has been...
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on this journey with me. We are going to pick another movie for next month, and we'll do it again. I think we're losing Brian here. Brian, thank you
okay?
for sticking it out.
Well, thank you for selecting this wonderful movie. I feel bad I hadn't seen it heretofore, but I'm glad I did because it was awesome. And thanks for joining us here on the first episode of Deep Sixed FLIX.
Deep Sixed FLIX.
Yeah.
Also, Brian, if you don't know, he's a rock star.
Oh,
What?
are we plugging stuff?
Yeah. Plug the shit out of everything. You have a new album coming out. And
yes.
There's a whole bunch of news. Go.
There's just a few days left in the Kickstarter for the forthcoming Gasoline Invertebrate album. I think it's really great. If nothing else, there's a great guest vocalist on this album. Put in Gasoline Invertebrate at Kickstarter.com today. Melterweight.
He means me. He means
it's
me.
you. I didn't know.
It's me.
Just as guest vocals are the two best tracks on the album. So check that out. Still a few days left. And
where can people find that? Did you already plug the link?
Kickstarter.com. And then you just put in my band name, Gasoline Invertebrate. I thought it sounded cool.
It is cool.
Also, there was a Legerhawk Records logo at the start. Thank you very much. We just released our next free compilation. Get that at legerhawkrecords.bandcamp.com.
Hell yeah.
Man.
He's also the Gothsicles, Gasoline Invertebrate, and Brian Grobner. He's all the things.
I'm all the things. Yeah. Gothsicles are kind of coming back, so like that's cool. And
that's interesting.
Yeah, we just played a convention. It was fun. People like that band more than Gasoline, so I still bring it out. But maybe we'll the inevitable rise of Deep Six FLIX is going to eclipse, I think, all of that because this was pretty dope. No, because this was awesome. I mean, we got to like top Metropolis. But I'm gonna punch out. Catch you guys later.
Night, Brian.
All right. Have a good one, man.
Bye. DSC.
Yeah. Yes. Ooh.
Show me what you got.
Well, Barry, eventually, sometime this week, because I made a bet with Leon that I'll have my Rings of Power Season 2 review done within 2 weeks, right? Or less.
Okay.
That will definitely be coming out. And I will be doing a very comprehensive roast on that show. Again, it'll probably be a very, very, very long video. I will just destroy the show in one single take, and that'll be it. Because I want to move on. Because just like a nasty cut, you want to get that bandaged up and ready to go.
And so you got the next thing that's gonna hurt you.
Exactly. But at least this
there's always gonna be more.
Yeah, but you see, I can dodge those. This I had to take it straight on. Yes, I know, Sonia. I definitely do have plans for that. I might even talk about Metropolis a little bit. I don't know.
Oh, you must.
I probably should because I already watched it. So. Yeah, I really want to talk about this stuff. Yeah, and there was another movie I was watching earlier that I wanted to talk about, but like it's It's escaped my mind for now, but oh yeah, I might be
But
thinking.
you've got some projects in the works, so keep an eye out. He disappeared for a little while, but he's back.
Yeah, no, I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm back. It happens, but it's okay. I always return.
Sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's me. If you want to check out my videos so far, you can just click the link in the description below. I get exactly Neosporin always. That's the be all end all solution. And yeah, again, now the link, if you click the YouTube link and look at the about section of my channel, you should see a link tree that will allow you to
link tree in bio.
Don't worry. There's no dragon fans. There's no only dragons.
Bummer.
Okay, sorry.
No only dragons.
I know. No. I'm a legit content creator. I am not a two-timing hoe trying to mask as one. All right.
Okay.
See, I'm trying to make it clear. All right. But no,
he's not a bad dragon. He's a good dragon.
Exactly. Oh no, yeah, no, I'm well, not bad on YouTube anyway, but maybe, who knows? But not that kind of
I mean, not that kind of bad.
No, lovable bad, lovable bad.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bad. See,
anyway, I'm gonna let that one die.
Oh, damn! No. Oh goodness. But no, thank you so much for helping me out, Jess. No, I love this.
Thank you for joining me.
Hey, I always appreciate it.
Do it again next month. It'll be fun.
Definitely. We're doing this. We're definitely doing this, Jess. This is perfect. It's gonna be a good time.
Good times for all. Smile and wave, boys. You can't see him, but he's waving.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.